Morning. So, this morning we are going to be taking a look at Sasha Lopez's The Long Way Home, A Visual Diary, which is the kind of latest oracle that she has released. Comes in a really lovely, beautiful, soft two-part box, created by Sasha Lopez, 2025. First thing to note is that I have got here the rose petal version, but the version that I've got stocked in my tarot shop, Tarot Grove, is the matte version at the moment. So I don't think you can really tell the difference on camera anyway, but I just thought I'd mention it. The kind of colours tend to be a little bit brighter in the matte version. What I'm going to do is just flip through the cards, like maybe give you some reflections, and then play with some pairs, because I have a big old stack of decks that I think would go really beautifully with this deck. So here we go. On the inside of the box it says, "A good traveller has no fixed plans and no intent on arriving," by Lao Tzu. Very nice quote. Now, another thing to mention before we start is that these cards do come in a specific order. Sasha has created this as a journey. It's called The Long Way Home. It's meant to be a journey about finding ourselves, and so the way that the cards are initially ordered is meant to kind of guide you through some journey. I have already played with this deck, so the cards are not in the original order. I did try and reorder them, but it is quite a mess to do because obviously there are no numbers on the cards, so I had to like try and watch a walkthrough, and I gave up basically after card 2 because it took me so long just to find the first 2 cards that I was like, I'm just gonna show the cards in a random order. But when you do receive this deck, do take the time to look at the cards in order, like go through the journey, maybe do some journaling about like what comes up for you, where you feel are the important moments in the journey. The deck doesn't come with a guidebook because it's meant to be your own process of connecting intuitively to the cards. This is a really, really great deck for journaling, for poetry if you like to write poetry. It's like these beautiful little kind of sparks of inspiration. It has such a depth of melancholy to it, and nostalgia, that I really feel like it calls up some kind of very, very deep emotions. So without further ado, I will flip through the cards, and then we'll get playing with some pairs. I feel like Sasha has such an intuitive art style. I pulled this card yesterday and paired it with When Olga Speaks, and it was just like, oh, so potent. Like these eyes, they're waiting to strike. There's such a clear sense of focus and attention and yeah, like readiness to pounce. The phrases that she's chosen are so charming, especially combined with the imagery. Yeah, I think charming is the right word. I feel very charmed by this deck. It takes me into a very like peaceful and nourishing feeling. Nature dances with you. Absolutely here for this woman's face. Been there. I think this deck also lends itself really well to pairing, because the kind of almost abstract nature of the phrases, not abstract, but it's poetic. It's very poetic, and that's beautiful. And sometimes I feel able to really jump straight off the poetry of the phrase, and sometimes I feel I need something to land me. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, through the mud, and then what does that through the mud phrase relate to? Like, what is it that I'm kind of like anchoring the poetic phrase to? So, and I think different decks do that anchoring in very different ways, which is why I've got, yeah, like quite a handful to look at, because I think they offer something very, very different when paired with The Long Way Home, the visual diary. Oh, I really feel this deck in my belly. Kind of aching for the past. Okay, the Gift of Darkness as the last card. Lovely. You know, I think that might be... No. Oh, I don't remember what the original last card of the deck it was, but the Gift of Darkness feels like a fitting last card anyway. So what I'll do now is I'll give the deck a little shuffle. Shuffles really beautifully. The card stock is like... So this one is the Rose Petal, which I believe is 330 GSM. She made it a little bit thinner so that the cards would still be, like, make for a good shuffle, and I can confirm. Definitely a good shuffle. The matte UV version is on the same card stock as When Olga Speaks, so it's 350 GSM matte. So it's a little bit thicker technically, but because it doesn't have the Rose Petal finish, it more or less feels like the same kind of thickness, and it shuffles, yeah, very similarly. The Rose Petal is not too sticky, as you can see, but there's definitely not the sort of same slick smoothness. Oh, what card one? Oh, it's 3 cards. The light at the end, very nice. Well, we'll start there, begin at the end, and I will crack out some pairs. So let's start with... we'll start with When Olga Speaks. Why not? Ooh. Let's make sure I've got space here. So I've got Sasha's first deck here, which is, although I think you can kind of tell, well, you can tell that they're from the same creator, but they definitely have a different vibe to them. Like, they pair beautifully together, I think, precisely because they're not so similar, but they definitely have the same kind of egregore, which is a word that I stole from Marine from Waves of Your Soul. Yeah, it's sort of the energy that the deck gives off, if I understand correctly. So let's have a look through. Yeah, do it this way. Take them off to the side so you're not crowding the screen. The coffee is getting cold. Negotiation. Yeah, maybe you've been negotiating so long that the coffee is getting cold and it's time to just sort of move on. Anger well tended to. Guidance. Hands that keep taking. Exposed. You can see that like the collage style is slightly different between the two, which I really like, so it doesn't create a sort of samey feel. Like you feel like you're getting two distinct voices that are just really well synthesized. Heart-shaped memories and mend, what a lovely combination. Faith and creation. Conversations with the past, hope. See, they both have the kind of, yeah, I don't know how else to say it other than like nostalgic, almost melancholic feel. But we're not melancholic in a kind of hopeless, negative way, but rather, yeah, I don't know, the melancholy that comes with a sort of warmth and hope, lessons learned, but also not rose-tinted glasses. There's this space in the decks for both the joy of the past and childhood and all the things that we have lived through, and also the grief and the things that we have to let go of and move through. Oh, it's just so well done. There is so much wisdom in these decks. Okay, we leave it on Permission to Exist and Death. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so that was When Olga Speaks, which I shall pop off to the side. Guys, I do not have a lot of space over here at my altar, so I think this is going to end up in card chaos over here. Okay, the next deck that I'm going to pair with it, Reclaim Oracle. Now, I messed around with this the other day, and it works really surprisingly well. Well, maybe it wouldn't be surprising to some of you, but to me, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what called me to use them together, but I was pleasantly surprised by the by how beautifully they sang together. Aside from the fact that there's these like light pinks throughout The Long Way Home, and obviously there's this really pale pink here that forms the kind of secondary colour for the Reclaim Oracle. And just the pairing of the kind of poetic phrasing and imagery with an emotion just like really sang. So we've got Permission to Exist and Confidence. Beautiful combination there. Power and loss. Sometimes what I noticed was sometimes they like chimed like a bell, where the two keywords would be so well synchronized, and then sometimes it would offer almost like the opposite, or something that was kind of discordant, and that also felt really like a fruitful place to sit. Prune the roots and presence. Resentments and integrity. Now, right now they're not singing as well as they were when I played with them the other day. So perhaps it's a hit and miss situation. Keeping too many things insecurity. Now that works for me, which is like the kind of this sense that we cling on and we hold tightly onto things because we feel precarious and we don't feel the sense of like groundedness. Let death be the soil and trust. Yeah, I think that also works really nicely. Softened and defeat. Yeah, so here I see like an invitation to, instead of feeling defeated, to shift towards a place of softness inside ourselves, and allowing and kind of holding the not knowing and being gentle with ourselves. So that was Reclaim Oracle. again, yeah, a little more 50-50 that time, but I still think I will use the two together again because I really enjoy the way that the emotion again gives a kind of focal point to the poetic phrasing. Speaking of poetic, next pairing is the Poasis Oracle. Which aesthetically maybe wouldn't be it for some of you. They do actually match very well in terms of like the feel of the cardstock. But Uncaged and Fear, yeah, great. Totally here for that. If it's meant for you in love, yes. The Gift of Darkness and Blockage. Yeah, and maybe that's like, you can see your blocks more clearly in the dark when there's less going on. Held and Surrender, okay, this is a killer combo. Again, like, I know that the art styles are so different, but just, for me, like, the keywords, like, the keyword of this really gives me something to orient the Long Way Home card around. Oh, To Worship in Flowers, Tears, Beautiful Rose. Let There Be Laughter, Embrace. School of Life, Patience, nice. Okay, yeah, I'm totally sold on this. I know it seems maybe like a weird combo, but I am here for it. I just think they work really, really well together. Necessity of Goodbyes and Heal. Okay, right. So that's Poasis. I'm not going to linger too long on each of these because, as I said, I have quite a few. And yeah, okay, just dropping shit around the place. The next deck, Future Ancestor Tarot by Lexa Luna Studio. Again, quite a different art style. But again, when I played a few days ago, the two just sang. So here we have Lessons on Self-Love, 10 of Seeds. Exactly. Strength of Softness. Strength in Softness, 10 of Candles. See, just glorious combo. And like the sweetness of the Future Ancestor Tarot, to me, really, actually, the energy really marries well with this deck. Although I know, again, the art style is very different, I still find that the vibe is, how many times I'm going to say energy and vibe in this video, but I just find the vibe to be very well matched. The Sum of All Its Parts, 8 of Seeds. Again, about like, you get out what you put in. So the seeds in this deck are the Pentacles. And I should say that, yeah, I wonder if I should have been mentioning throughout that I have both of these decks, of course, and When Olga Speaks, and also the Reclaim Oracle in the shop. So if you're called by any of these pairings, yeah, some of them are available. I Am My Own Home, Ace of Seeds. Beautiful. I don't know why it works so well, but it works so well. Yeah. And I'm not so bothered about aesthetics when it comes to my pairings. I really feel like if you use your intuition to pick two decks based on like, well, for me, I tend to base them on how they make me feel and like what parts of me they tap into. And both of these, I feel, can hold like grief and like this kind of imaginal high priestessy through the veil ancestors energy. I said a lot of words there, but See? Ace of Swords, Ace of Needles, and Messages. Perfect. Yeah, I think they definitely both hold the like wisdom of the ancestors. So that's the Future Ancestor Tarot. Another win, I would say. Yeah. I think it might be my favourite combo so far, apart from When Olga Speaks, which just is obviously a match made in heaven. We've got, how many more to go through? 4 more. Okay. Let's crack on, folks. This one might be a bit of a... Am I going to try that one? No, this one might be a bit rogue. Let's see what happens. We've got Kim Cran's Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. Also collage, different collage style. Self-Soothe Village. I have no clue if this is going to work or not. A Season of Self-Worship and Threshold. I actually quite like how they look together. This deck brings a little bit of a brighter, more vibrant colour. But they seem to, the collage style seem to match very well. The phrasings, a secret third thing, the storm. I wonder if this is a combination that will work well in combination with the guidebook for this deck, because like for me, the guidebook of the archetypes, Wild Unknown Archetypes deck is absolutely killer. Like there is so much depth and knowledge about the archetypes in that book, and I wonder if I were to read the entry for Ocean, if I would find something in there that would connect with like Called But No Answer, because I'm finding the two together, All In and Temple, maybe they both feel so abstract that it's difficult to, yeah, I still feel a bit like I feel with this on its own, which is perhaps a little bit still up in the air, still not fully oriented, which sometimes, you know, sometimes you want like an abstract reading that just leaves you with something to mull on, you know, like a dream. You don't always need to know like the exact meanings of all the symbols, etc. It's just a kind of a spark, and maybe you can get a piece of poetry off the back of this combination. But yeah, I think for my style of reading, maybe I would need to use the guidebook to make this combination work. Okay, next. I am going to pull the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine and the Wisdom of the Shadow. I will start with the Wisdom of the Shadow because I normally have them shuffled together, but not in this moment. So here we go. Oh, it's upside down. Okay, I think I immediately like this. Brings tears to my eyes. Boundaries. Sugar-coated. Change. Yeah, lovely. Waiting to strike. Opening. Ooh. It's like, can we be ready to receive whatever is coming towards us? Like there's something that is on its way to deliver a message. Can we take a stance of opening? Everything all at once. Metamorphosis. Yeah, I like this a lot. The things we carry. Confusion. Great. And then the last card. Through the Mud. Expectations. Right, I'm gonna take a shuffle pause so that they don't come up in the same order again. Okay, here we are, starting with Nature Dances With You, and we will take a quick look at the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. These are both decks by Intuitive Art and Alchemy, both decks we also have in the shop actually. Yeah, and they also come with an amazing guidebook that is well worth a read. I will be doing probably an unboxing of, or a flip through of these shortly, because I've been playing with them for like a month now and they're just fantastic. So, nature dances with you. Trust. Lovely. Transmutation is a slow descent. Radiance. The call. Allies. Multitudes within. Discernment. Yeah, great. When we break bread. Sacred union. Oh, yeah, this is another total winner for me. I hadn't put these together before filming the video, but I am totally sold and I will definitely be working with them in combination. Okay, two left. We're gonna do this one. Yeah, go on, let's give it a try. I feel like this one is not gonna work, but we're gonna give it a go. This is the Wisdom of the Goddess. It's another collage deck. It's a tarot by Gabriella Herstick. Hardened, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, this is better than I thought it would be. Miles left to go, 3 of Swords, yeah. All in, 2 of Cups. Power in the Sun, yeah. Okay, all right, I feel like this deck is showing me that it can pair. Great. Witch of Pentacles I called, but no answer. Secret third thing, 3 of Pentacles. Yes. Permission to exist, Maiden of Wands. Okay, yeah, also works really well. The problem with having like a bunch of really good pairings is that then I don't know which to pick. So I mean, this gives like a really different kind of reading than, for example, pairing it with the Poasis. There's like a real simplicity, I think, to the, you know, the just having a single key word, which just allows you to stay, I think, in a more poetic mind frame. Like, I don't know, I like journaling in quite a flowery, like, poetic way. So for me, this combination works really beautifully. This to me brings it a little bit more into like the more analytical or more like a traditional tarot reading, which I feel has more structure. You know, I'm like thinking about the connections between, okay, what do I know about the 3 of Pentacles? What's on the image here? How does it combine or connect with the phrasing and the imagery here? Feels like maybe it's a little bit more hard work and pulls me a bit more out of that more liminal space. But I like it. I think it works well. And the last deck on the pairing list, Ritual Tarot by Tiera May. Another one of my faves. Another collage, quite different collage style, but could work. So let's pull from here. Season of Self-Worship with the Queen of Wands. Yep, absolutely. When it's all said and done, for the 6 of Pentacles. Waiting to strike. 7 of Cups. Spring is not promised. 2 of Cups, I think. Is that the 2 of Cups? Yeah, 2 of Cups. Sugar-coated with the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Wands, sorry. Yeah, I'm seeing a bit less harmony between these two. Striking me a little bit colder. Tension at the threshold. with the High Priestess. Yeah, fair enough. That's actually a very good combination. Resentments and the 2 of Pentacles. Brings tears to my eyes. With the 10 of Pentacles, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it works, but it's not lighting me up like some of the others. I think that's the 4 of Swords with we have always walked each other home. Okay. All right. I think that's That's good for the Ritual Tarot. Not my favourite pair, but I would say perfectly good enough. Again, if you're looking for like a tarot oracle combination, I think that works. Definitely works. But I still think for the tarot, my favourite is Future Ancestor. And for oracle, I think my favourites are, yeah, the Poasis and When Olga Speaks. So, that was it. Review and pairs for The Long Way Home, a visual diary by Sasha Lopez. An absolutely beautiful, evocative, poetic piece of artwork. I mean, I just feel so incredibly lucky to have the chance to have this in the shop and to also get a chance to play with it and have it in my own hands. Sometimes for the shop, like I've been buying decks and I've not been able to like afford to buy an extra one for myself. And for this one, Sasha was so sweet and put an extra deck in the box for me. Honestly, she is like the loveliest human. And yeah, I am absolutely delighted and overjoyed, and I've been using it at candlelight, in candlelight at night, because I find it just so evoking and so magical. So there you have it. Have you picked up a copy? What do you think? I'd love to hear your comments below, and if you've enjoyed the video, please do like it and subscribe, because it really helps my channel out. So yeah, would love to hear from you all. I really enjoy being in contact, and yeah, I've loved the messages and the comments on videos and stuff. So keep it coming. All right, see you in the next one.